I had pho earlier today, and then one of my bosses brought in pizza to work, so that was kind of awesome.
Ooh, that's pretty
Yeah,
based.
pretty based.
I had this. I did it. I did end up having. I had Detroit style pizza at MCFC. That actually.
Oh, Detroit pizza hits.
It's good.
It is the one. It is the one other acceptable pizza type besides New York.
Oh no.
Oh,
Chicago
this is about to be an argument.
Chicago deep
I
dish above
know.
all.
I know.
I actually put Chicago, then Detroit, then New York. New York's fine. It's
Oh,
It's
I am
really basic.
leaving this call immediately.
Oh no, it's over.
It's really
Solis, you
basic
have
pizza.
ruined the podcast.
No, we haven't even started yet.
No, I mean, I crap on Chicago deep dish a lot for the memes, but
fine.
it does hit.
I did have an actual real one for the first time at MFF, and that did in fact hit. Hello, this is Editing Argo here. Just wanted to pop in and say thank you for listening to the first episode of the Untitled Furry Baseball Podcast. The three of us are very excited for this, and whether you're watching this on YouTube or Spotify, I encourage you to leave a comment introducing yourself and what team you root for, along with any feedback you have on the podcast. I'm personally new to editing anything like this, so any and all feedback is very helpful. Thank you, and enjoy. Hello, my name is Argo, and
Argo?
this is the Untitled Furry Baseball Podcast. That's how I'm calling it. That's what I've decided. At least for right now.
Good start.
Yeah,
it's a good start. We got to start somewhere.
Would you guys like to
Fuzzy
introduce
balls.
yourselves? Sure, I guess.
Hi, I'm Solis the Wolf. From hit pieces like yeah, I'm not famous.
Okay. All right. Not going to talk about your podcast that you were just on or anything.
We just wrapped that.
You literally
episode.
just wrapped up.
We literally just recorded that on Tuesday, and then the last episode, the true episode, is tomorrow.
Yeah.
the live stream.
And then
We're
Drewski.
recording this on a Thursday.
Yeah, I am Drewski. If you have seen a bunch of furries at a Mets game, at least one of them was me.
It's your
So
fault.
yeah, let's go Mets.
Yeah,
It's
go
my fault. Yeah,
Mets.
I know. I spread the disease throughout the entire borough of Queens. I'm very sorry for that.
I don't think
No,
you
I'm
should
not.
apologize. Yeah, you shouldn't be sorry for that.
You're the reason why Umamase horse girls started following the Broncos.
What?
Oh no.
What does that have
mean,
to do
like,
with the furry Mets?
I
The
think if you
The furries showed up at baseball games because of Drewski, and then VTubers are singing the seventh inning stretch on the big screen, and now they're in a football stadium.
Sure.
look, the all I'm gonna say is about the VTubers thing. That was the Dodgers, and they've won back-to-back World Series. So I'm not saying those two things are related, but maybe they're onto something.
It could be onto something. But
My
You know,
my only hope is that the furry magic rubs off on the Mets and they actually, win something this year. I've been waiting 31 years of my life.
but yeah, this first episode probably just introduce ourselves and the teams that we root for. You can very obviously tell that Drewski is a Mets fan.
Let's go Mets.
Let's go Mets. I'm Argo. I am a Mariners fan. Huge Mariners fan. Go Mariners. And Solis.
I'm a betrayer of Illinois. I'm supposed to be either a Cubs or White Sox fan, but I am a Cardinals fan.
I'm so sorry.
You will not be forgiven for your sins.
Yes and no, because it happened to be the year that they won the World Series that I got into baseball. So I'm just saying I'm good luck. But
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
I had family.
I mean, I can kind of use.
I was just gonna say I had family. We're like Chicago, everything. Bulls, Blackhawks, Bears. And then for some reason, my mom's side of the family is really big Cardinals fans, like big Cardinals fans. And in 2011, I had a very good relationship with my cousin. He was like a brother to me. And I was moving down to go to college while he was also in college. And it just happened to be the 2011 season. So, yeah, that was just a good way to fall into it.
Awesome.
Now I've been depressed since.
Oh, no.
We've had a couple good seasons, but I mean, realistically, since 2015, it's been kind of.
As Argo said, and I have also said many times already on this podcast, I'm a fan of the New York Mets. I did grow up in New Jersey, about 20 minutes from New York City. When my brother and I were both little, we got into baseball around the same time. He decided to be a Yankees fan. I decided to root for the Mets because that's just the type of contrarian that I am. And man, has that paid off for me. Probably shaved many years off my life watching both the Mets and the New York Jets. But hey, like I always say, it'll all be worth it when they win. So
Oh yeah,
I'm waiting for it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Low key,
So
look at the Cubs, baby. Look at the Cubs, baby.
yeah. Like I may just cry for like 3 days straight if I ever see the Mets win a World Series.
The big thing is you got to try and find yourself to either one of the divisional games or like one of the championship games, or if you could swing it, I mean, go to a World Series game.
I mean, I would kill to go to a Mets World Series game. Like a Mets World Series win, because the last time they went to the World Series, things did not go well. They got bitch slapped by the other Missouri team. So, yeah.
I mean,
No,
sorry.
I do have a question, Drewski. Did you become a Mets fan because your brother was a Yankees fan, or or was it vice versa?
So he became a Yankees fan first, and I became a Mets fan. This was around the time, in 2000 of the Subway Series. So, we both kind of went into that. Like, I mean, I was young and I didn't realize what the history of the Mets was. I just knew they had Mike Piazza who could hit the ball really far. And I liked him, and I liked watching the Mets play. And up until the World Series, it was paying off, and I have not been the same since.
No. It's just been crushed since.
The last true postseason and the last World Series appearance by the Cardinals getting shellacked by the Red Sox. Ugh. That wasn't even close.
You won as many games in that World Series as the Mets have won in their last 2 World Series appearances.
Fair.
So, yeah.
Fair enough.
Hey, what's a World Series?
I would show you sympathy if you hadn't seen your team win the Super Bowl like 13 days ago.
Okay, that's fair. That is true. I do
think that's something, we're introducing ourselves and the teams, but I definitely think we should focus on what's wrapping up, which is the football season.
Yeah, we'll probably.
Yeah.
We could talk a little bit about the ending of the football season because baseball is just around the corner. Literally, we're recording this on Thursday, February 19th, and the first games of spring training start tomorrow.
Yep.
My body is ready.
My body is so ready. But what has just ended was the football season where my Seattle Mariners. What am I talking?
Yeah, the Mariners.
I am already in baseball season, man. I'm already in baseball season.
Fair. What world do we have to live in where the Mariners win a Super Bowl before they even make it to a World Series? Like, what upside down bullshit is this?
But yeah, I got to witness my Seattle Seahawks win the Super Bowl in person, which was a fucking incredible experience.
Oh, that's the second time in your lifetime, right?
Second time in my lifetime that I've watched them win the Super Bowl, but also the only 2 times they've won the Super Bowl. The other time they went to the Super Bowl, I think, was 2001, if I'm not mistaken. And they did.
So they won.
Patriots.
Well, they went twice. Yeah, they went. So they were 2-2. Yeah, because they lost to the Steelers in the worst officiated game I've ever seen in my entire life.
See, I block out that
we're
last
not going to talk. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that last one because as a Jets fan who despises the New England Patriots, that one kind of hurt me a little bit too.
But you are a Jets fan who loves Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I mean, there was some controversy going on where everybody was like, "Oh, Jets fans are going to be so upset watching Sam Darnold win this Super Bowl," and I'm like, "Look, I think it can be most accurately summed up by a tweet that I saw by Twitter user Tony Vegas that says, if Sam Darnold prevents the Patriots from winning a Super Bowl, he was worth the number 3 overall pick." And I could not agree with that more. I don't care that he didn't do it with the Jets. I'm happy for him. The Jets organization failed him massively, and I'm very happy to see him succeed in Seattle.
Absolutely. And he gets a sick nickname out of it, too. He's the Ghostbuster. Well, he took down his ghost.
I hadn't heard that. Oh my fucking god, that is good.
It's so good. I heard it. I heard it before, and I'm like, wait, that's fucking amazing. That's actually great.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, as somebody who watched the Seeing Ghosts game live, it really has come full circle. So good for Sam.
Yeah, and he's passed the ghosts on to Drake May.
I'm a Sam Darnold denier still, though. I still don't think he's a great quarterback. I mean, look. You know, lightning strikes, and that's a big part of the Super Bowls and World Series and all sports. You got to catch it in a good time. I mean, look at Nick Foles. I say that all the time. You argued against it that he did very good in that Super Bowl game, which is fine. But that's the thing is if you look at the stats, Sam Darnold didn't do anything great at all in that game, but he also didn't do old Sam Darnold things.
To be fair,
that's all that mattered.
To be fair, I think the Seahawks probably would have scored 40 plus if Christian Gonzalez was not on that Patriots defense.
Yeah, I have way too much experience with Christian Gonzalez as well, and he is a pretty goddamn good cornerback. I hate facing him. But I mean, that's all you need sometimes. If you have a outstanding defense like the Seahawks did this year, and an outstanding run game like the Seahawks did this year, you just need a quarterback that's good enough, and that's what Sam Darnold was.
And I'll be real with you, I think that was the biggest deciding factor is Drake May's offensive line. Oh my god, they did nothing for that.
They got torn up, dude.
Like, sorry, Drake May, you're not Caleb Williams, bub.
I meant to ask Will Campbell how his Amazon application is going, because he said it himself. I mean, if a defensive lineman is recording 1 sack a game, he's a Hall of Famer. If an offensive lineman is giving up 1 sack a game, he's going to work at Amazon. And he gave up a lot of sacks. I mean, I felt very vindicated. I felt very vindicated seeing Drake May go down the way he did, because me, among many other people, were pointing at the weak-ass schedule that he had this year. And I'm not saying that Drake May can never be a good quarterback, but, like, as a Jets fan, I cannot give credit to a guy who stat padded against the Jets.
Right.
Because our team was dog shit. They're so bad.
Fair. I think I don't think you can discredit anybody who makes it to the Super Bowl. I will say, and I think this is the biggest thing, is if Bo Nix had never gotten his ankle broken, it's absolutely Broncos Seahawks in the Super Bowl.
Oh, no doubt.
And that would have been a fucking crazy game instead of
that. Yeah. I mean, obviously, Argo, I'm really fucking happy for you that you got to go to that game and see your boys win the Super Bowl.
Right.
But my God, that was like an all-time. That was kind of a stinker for the first 3 quarters there.
I mean, I was having a great time. I was having a really
You had
great
a great time, yeah. I mean, Seattle Seahawks fans across the globe loved it. But I mean, at least like when they played the Broncos and demolished them, like there was at least a lot of good offensive plays happening too, and a lot of like turnovers being returned for touchdowns and kickoffs being returned for touchdowns, and this game is just not the same.
Yeah.
I wish we would have beat the fucking Rams and we would have went to face the Seahawks. Oh, that'd have been a fucking game.
That would have been cinema.
That would have been cinema.
Slugfest.
Argo, I might have been a little bit concerned for you because it's not a coincidence that the year we get a pope from Chicago, the Bears pull off all these.
Yeah.
I mean, I was at A&E watching that Rams-Bears playoff game, and there's a bunch of us just in the lobby because they have a big TV right in the lobby. And when Caleb Williams threw that touchdown to Cole Kmet, I mean, first off, we all went nuts. That's one of the that might just be the single craziest football play I've ever seen in my entire life.
That was incredible.
My friend was walking by and had stopped to watch it and then came up to me and said, "I am converting to Catholicism." I mean, there's no other explanation for the bullshit that the Bears pulled off. But I mean, you know, people were quick to dog on Caleb Williams last year, and he turned it around big time last year. He was kind of like this year's Eli Manning, where he's mediocre to bad for the first 3 quarters, and then becomes God himself for the fourth.
Right. Yeah.
We get a full game out of him in the offense. That'd be crazy. Before we move on from the Super Bowl, and I do bitch about the Bears for a second after that, I did want to ask Argo, who was live at the Super Bowl,
yes,
about your experience or anything you would like to say.
Oh man, it was just incredible. It was just really awesome to be there. First of all, I mean, even if I think I'd be crushed if the Seahawks didn't win that game. But like, I think even if they hadn't won that game, it still was an amazing experience. You know, the vibe there, playing at a Super Bowl at your rival stadium is kind of fucking awesome. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of fucking awesome.
That's true, yeah.
I was gonna make that difference. Noting that difference between, you know, I told Drewski, you know, hey, you should go to one of the playoff games if your Mets make it, right, or the World Series. The cool thing about baseball is you split, you know, the series, right,
sure.
in each other's stadiums. And I have been to one division series game for the Cardinals in St. Louis, Game 5. I think Wainwright pitched like a fucking 5-0 shutout, and that's a party. When you're at home, Game 5 of that series, and you're just stomping them out like that, the party is different. But I will say, in this case, the Seahawks did it in the rival stadium, which is just rough for the rivals. Like, oh god,
for sure.
But that's that big thing where, like, and I think there was a lot of, like you said, I think so, based off of some statistic they pulled up, it was like, what, 60% of the people there were rooting for the Seahawks?
Yeah, it was like greater than 60% was some like early metrics on like ticket sales and stuff. I don't know how it ended up resulting, but I remember seeing the statistics saying it was over 60% were Seahawks fans.
Did it feel like a home game?
It did. Oh, it did. Dude, if you're a Patriots fan watching this, tell your fans to be louder. Your fans were quiet. Patriots were quiet.
I have to wonder.
I mean,
like, I do kind of have to wonder though if Patriots fans kind of knew what was coming, and that's why they weren't as into the game.
Maybe, yeah. But like, if your team is playing on defense, like, you got to get loud, man. You can't just only be loud on third downs. It's the Super Bowl.
True.
I mean, I could be biased because I'm a Seahawks fan. And the Seahawks the 12s go crazy on every single defensive play. There's a reason why why Seattle is the hardest place to play or one of the hardest places to play in the NFL. I don't know if it's the hardest, but just because of the amount of noise and the 12s yelling at every single defensive play. But yeah, we made it feel like a home game. It was pretty awesome.
The Falcons had to pump sound in their stadium to try and match it. It wasn't against the Seahawks, but they got nailed for that. Yeah. I used to have a backup team.
The Falcons are at best third fiddle in Atlanta because everyone is obsessed with the Atlanta Braves. They're a backup team because it's people like the Braves and people like Georgia football. They are not as into the Falcons.
No,
they just
not at all. And I'll say, I liked Vic. obviously a generational talent there. Broke the quarterback position for the future. Hell, even when he was an Eagle, he was doing amazing things. It's just, of course, that whole
that space in the middle there that we don't really want to, talk about.
Yeah. So I didn't want to jump over to the Bears to tighten up the football talk before we get into our baseball talk. But is there anything else you would like to talk about the end of this season / Super Bowl?
No, go Hawks. That's about it. I'm excited for baseball season.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. Glad you had a good time.
You had a little bit of a Bears rant then?
Yeah, well, I mean, you saw the latest news, didn't you?
What was the latest news?
They just fucking today, they were in talks with Pritzker about J.B. Pritzker, the Illinois governor, about getting things set up, and they were going to pass a bill to like get them locked into a stadium, I think down in Arlington Heights or something.
Oh.
And they said, don't go forward with the bill yet. We got a few things that Pritzker knew that they were still working between them. Then they said, we wanted to tweak a couple things and then we'll come back to you. Immediately after that meeting, several hour meeting, they drop a post saying like, yeah, we really want to congratulate Indiana for coming to the table and really putting forth all this effort into trying to get a stadium over by Wolf Spring or whatever the hell lake or something. So now it's like, and they said like, we look forward to more negotiating. So no, it's like, what? Are they going to Indiana? Like, we thought it was just a power play.
Oh, are we getting the Gary Bears?
I don't know if
it's the Gary Bears. I still don't know if that's actually going to happen.
It would be the dumbest move because I immediately not a Bears fan. I will literally, and I'm so excited for Caleb Williams. I am so excited for this next fucking football season. Like, and because it looks like Max Crosby's really looking at the Bears. Caleb was on Max Crosby's podcast. Ooh. Max Crosby is pointed towards. He said last year he wanted to leave the Raiders, and he also has been like eyeballing the shit out of Caleb Williams and what he's been doing. So like, holy shit, give us Max Crosby. Okay, like what we could do a lot with that on our defense then. So there's a lot there, but the Indiana Bears, go fuck yourselves. I'm out. You'll never get another goddamn penny from me. I will probably not give a fuck about football anymore, and I'll just, I don't know, man, just wave at the players I like.
You would be a sole baseball fan. Speaking of baseball, this is a baseball podcast.
Yeah.
It sure is.
So, training's tomorrow.
Spring training starts tomorrow. There are 5 games scheduled. I believe there's also 2 exhibition games. I think they're playing college teams. They're scheduled too. I'm pretty sure the Red Sox are playing Northwestern. And then
probably Northeastern.
Or Northeastern?
Because Northeastern is in Boston.
Oh,
yeah,
Northeastern's
in Boston.
Yeah. They're playing Northeastern, and then who else was it? Oh man, I literally just checked what it was. Is it on the schedule? It's not even on the schedule, which is kind of annoying to me. Unless it's on this schedule, Cactus League. I can't find it. Whatever. There's another team that's playing exhibition game as well, but there are also 10 MLB teams will be playing in spring training tomorrow, and I am so excited. The Mariners are back. They're playing the Padres tomorrow, and I'm hyped.
Yeah.
I unfortunately got to wait till Saturday, but I am very excited for the first game against the Miami Marlins. And, first look at a couple new guys in the Mets uniform. Bo Bichette. I'm sure Freddie Peralta might get an inning or 2 out there. I am excited. I am excited.
I also have to wait for Saturday. Nationals. Fun.
Yeah.
Ooh, we play the Mets on Wednesday.
Ooh.
Oh. I was gonna say I know we're not gonna be playing the Mariners in spring training because you guys are in Arizona.
Yeah, we're in Arizona.
You guys are in the Cactus League.
Y'all are the
I was gonna say all of our shit's done in Florida, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Mets and Cardinals spring training facilities are very, very close to each other. They used to share one, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
the Mets are in the Mets Stadium is 42 miles northwest of the Cardinals spring training stadium.
Oh, that's pretty. That's you can
Yeah,
almost throw a
not far at
baseball
all.
that
It's
far,
about
right?
that's I someone maybe can. I can't.
Oh goodness. Spring training, exciting. I can't. So that's the fun thing about the Cardinals right now. It's a catch-22 situation where we don't have, from what I just read up onto recently, is like we basically don't have any players truly locked in after 2026 um to contracts. Yeah, we don't have people with names on our team. Um so this is a good thing. It's all young guys trying to make a name for themselves. The bad thing is they're all untested, unproven people. Well, we got some.
Yeah,
But
I don't even know any names on your roster. I'll be completely real with you.
it's like Mason
Yeah,
Wynn,
it's
a couple breakout kids, Alec Burleson is still on our team. He made a little bit of a splash last year. But that's the thing is we got rid of Nolan Arenado, Wilson Contreras, Sonny Gray. They're all gone. Nolan Arenado back to the Diamondbacks. I believe he started there, didn't he? I feel like he was there for a while. Maybe I'm wrong. Sonny Gray and Wilson Contreras both ended up at the Red Sox, but on separate deals, which is funny.
All right, so one of the topics that we wanted to talk about was kind of going through each of our teams and each of our divisions, and seeing what we predict our respective divisions to look like. Because I personally have some opinions on how the AL West is going to turn out, but I want to hear what you guys have to say about your respective divisions. Who would like to start?
I would be more than happy to start.
Go right ahead.
Let's hear it.
I mean, this off season for the Mets was shaping up to be a rough one. I was thinking back to after 2023, coming off a season where you had added Justin Verlander and you were quite possibly the World Series favorite going into that year, or at least the NL favorites, and they blew it. They blew it hard, and going into that offseason, Billy Epler got fired, Buck Showalter retired. We brought in a new regime, and the motto was, patience. This is going to be a rebuilding year. We're not going to try really and compete. And, obviously we do know how that ended up, and how the Mets ended up 2 wins away from a pennant. But the way this offseason started after the disappointing season that was 2025, it really felt like we were headed back to Stearns' vision of, we're going to rebuild. We want to build from the ground up. We want to build a true contender for years to come, and that starts with not giving out a fuck ton of money to guys that may or may not deserve it. And we watched Pete Alonso walk, we watched Edwin Diaz walk, and Mets fans everywhere were getting the guillotine out for David Stearns. But after what really should have been what really felt like the nail in the coffin for the offseason, and watching Kyle Tucker again take the easy way out and go to the Dodgers, the very next day we signed Bo Bichette, who at that point was the best position player on the market. They ended up also going out a few days after that and trading for Luis Robert, a pretty low cost but potentially very high upside kind of guy in center field, which is something we needed. Very excited to see how he does with some actual lineup protection. And then probably the biggest fish of the offseason was acquiring Freddie Peralta and Tobias Myers from the Brewers. That's kind of something that had been marinating since the offseason started, really. That rumor had been swirling for quite a bit. And, that was kind of the cherry on top of what went from being a nightmare offseason to one that leaves me thinking, you know what, hey, on paper, we're not better than the Dodgers, but I think we can compete. So hyped for this season, and that was in addition to already having added Devin Williams as our likely closer and Jorge Polanco as, for some reason, replacement for Pete Alonso at first. But he has looked good out in the field so far. I've seen him taking some reps out there, so he may have it at first.
Man, I miss that man.
I see him more as the designated hitter, more like he's gonna replace Starlin
I
Marte.
think he ultimately is too. I mean, Ryan Clifford. There's a couple guys down in AAA that, if they can get it together, they'll be a better first baseman. But I think to at least start the year, unless Mark Vientos comes out hot, I think it'll be Jorge Polanco's job at first. So we'll see.
Well, the good news is his first base. I mean, the more athletic you are, the better, obviously. But first base is one of the smaller positions that you don't have to move as much. I mean, look how long freaking picture his face. The Cardinal guy. God dang it.
Albert Pujols?
Pujols was there for way too long.
Unk was in the field for a while, but I mean, it's I mean, the main emphasis that was being focused on this offseason was run prevention, and that's ultimately what doomed the Mets last year. So curious to see how this works out. I know Mets fans will forever love Pete Alonso. Outstanding hitter, had a lot of clutch moments in the postseason last year, but I mean, the man was a butcher in the field, and replacing his defense was not a very high bar.
That's great.
But
it's bad to say that's great, but it's always up on that.
Yeah,
kind of
I mean,
thing.
good for Pete. He got his bag. He's going to the Orioles with potentially high upside team. So we'll see how that works out. But yeah, I mean, I am excited.
Well, you finished 83 and 79. Are you thinking 90, 95, 100 wins? Like what are you feeling on the Mets?
My realistic prediction is they'll probably end up somewhere around where they were 2 years ago now in 2024. I think they'll be about like 88, 89, 90 wins. I don't know that they're going to win the division. I mean, depending on how quickly the Braves can get healthy, I think they're going to be the team to beat yet again. The Phillies are in an interesting spot, but I do still think that they're going to be a postseason contender and a team that should not be taken lightly. I mean, my realistic prediction, I think the Braves are going to win the division again. I think they'll be back on top. I think the Mets will be second in the division and be first wild card. And I believe the Phillies will finish third in the division and get the last wild card spot. And the Marlins are going to be pesky as they always are. Any Mets fan dreads having to watch them go down and play in Miami because they have been a pain in the Mets' ass for 20 plus years. So I cannot take them lightly. They're going to want to play spoiler, and they always do. I mean, and then the Nationals are just somehow still going to be a train wreck. I thought they made some really good moves selling off Trey Turner, Max Scherzer, Juan Soto a few years ago, but they have yet to really see the fruits of that. So I think they're going to be a last place team. And, maybe they could surprise people. Maybe some of the young guys finally really step up this year. But, I feel pretty confident in saying they're going to be fifth place in the NL East this year.
Alrighty.
That's a heck of a breakdown for you.
Solis, you want to go next with your Cardinals?
I can do that. I spoke a little bit on it already. It's a big rebuild year. It's finally the Cardinals are really, really realizing that a 78 and 84 record ain't going to do it. Especially in a season where we easily could have stayed over 500. We had a great start and it just fell apart very quickly. It's just this management's got to figure something out. We have, again, it's been a decade of mediocrity or less, and I am totally down to see them go full rebuild. We'd already rebuilt our farm system into like a higher grade farm system, if not one of the best in the league. And all we did this year was the moves we're paying a lot of money still for Arenado's contract and a couple of the people's that we've left or that we traded away. But that's for this year. Obviously, we have the collective bargaining coming up, which is going to be insane. But assuming there's baseball in the future, it's clearing up over 50 million in cap space. So, and we with the trades that we've made, we further that depth on the farm system. There's a lot to like about what could be. This year is definitely going to be a middle of the year. I'm gonna hope for 500. I would love to see 90. That would be a lot of young guys coming out of the woodwork and just performing well. And it could happen. You never know. Superstars are born every minute, and they could just be there. Is that likely? No. But I'm seeing like another fourth place finish. Last year it went Brewers, Cubs, Reds, Cardinals, Pirates. Pirates being on the bottom. I still think the Cardinals can maybe edge out the Reds this year and take the middle spot, take that third spot. Arguably, when it comes to like the Pirates, you got Paul Skeens on their team. They did do a lot of work on the offseason, acquiring some pitching and really trying to build around Skeens and Mitch Keller, another young pitcher for them. With Marcell Ozuna being a designated hitter, that's more offense. The Pirates could be a sneaky team. The Pirates could be a very sneaky team, especially if you get some like Cy Young performances out of Skeens and Keller. Like every two out of 5 games you're winning, like almost guaranteed. That's gonna be a hard team to beat. But everybody has to perform, and that's the magic of baseball. I really do think it's going to be another Cubs Brewers decking it out up top. The Reds did all right, but not great. I think again, and then the Pirates are either going to surprise us or they're not. It's one of those things where they're either going to surprise us or not. And I'm thinking, I as somebody who hates the Cubs more than the Brewers, I'm just going to say the Brewers take the division. Cubs will stay on top. The Cardinals will be able to keep back the Reds and the Pirates, and we'll probably miss the wild card. We should miss the wild card unless something crazy happens this year. It's all about next year and the year after that. We'll have that cap space. We'll know a lot more about these young guys that we have on our team, how well they're doing, and we'll be able to move some around. And also, if we really think we have a shot in a year or two from now, spend some of that extra cap space to pick up some people to make a push. But I do think the Cardinals are sitting on like a 2-year plan here at least. Should be fun to watch. A bunch of young guys.
All right.
Yeah, I gotta be real with you. I think they're very much on to competing in 2020 if we have baseball in 2027, if not 2028 and beyond. The NL Central is always a weird division because there's a bunch of small markets in there, and each team kind of just takes their turn being on top of the division for a couple of years. Where for a few years now, it's been the Brewers' turn, and maybe I personally think the Cubs will probably win that division. Yeah. Although I very much can picture a universe where the Pittsburgh Pirates make a lot of noise this year. I know you're not that high on them. I think they're a dark horse team to get one of those wild card spots. I think the Brewers are due to regress. I think them moving on from Freddie Peralta this offseason kind of signifies that that's where they see themselves too. I think they'll still be competitive, but I think the Cubs will ultimately win the NL Central this year. Mm-hmm. I think the Brewers will probably come in second, and the Pirates are my pick for third. Again, I very much see a universe where they sneak in as a wild card and they finally make some noise with Skeens and company. I think the Reds are going to regress from last year. they had their year, but they benefited from the Mets' historic collapse and made the postseason for the first time since 2020. So, I'm glad the Red fans got to enjoy that. I have some very good friends that are Reds fans, but I don't think they're going to be as competitive this year. I think they'll take a step back. And Solis, buddy, I hate to be saying this to you, but I think the Cardinals are going to be the worst team in that division. And you know what? I mean, ask a Houston Astros fan how, going from being a mediocre 75, 80 win team to, losing 110 games a year. But I mean, look at where that got them. So,
Cheating.
I think the same. Before the cheating,
They were the Astros were on our division, and that yes, they were the consistent bottom of our division.
But they were able to turn those bottom feeding finishes into Alex Bregman and Carlos Correa, and Kyle Tucker. So
Yep.
It's a lot better to say right now, hey, we know we're not going to realistically compete for anything as far as postseason success. So you know what?
Mm-hmm.
We'll sell off Arenado. We'll sell off Contreras. Sonny Gray's gone, and it's our turn to bottom out. We'll give the young guys plenty of playing time, and then over the next couple of years, start hitting on some draft picks, as we know the St. Louis Cardinals can do. Quite possibly the greatest right-handed hitter in the history of the sport was a first-round draft pick of the Cardinals. So, it's going to take some time to bottom out, really reset themselves. But I mean, you're ultimately setting yourself up for long-term success better that way than, you try and go 83 and 79 each year and sneak in as a wild card and then get blown out by the Dodgers. It's pointless. It is a lot better scenario to bottom out and build for the future this year.
Absolutely, and that's the biggest. I am being optimistic with the third place poll there. Obviously, the Reds, I think, out of all of them, are the most mediocre. I don't see them having great upside, but I also don't see them regressing too much from last year either. I think you're going to see very similar, if not a little bit, regression. My thing is, I guess we were ranked number 2 overall with the farm system, while other, and that's with Baseball America's rankings, with other sources ranking them number 1. And some of these guys are going to be coming up this year. So it's one of those things where if the kids show up and they're just phenoms, it could be a very interesting year. But I do see, I mean, obviously it's very, very possible that it's going to be a lot of growing pains. The move from the minors up into the majors is a massive jump, no matter which way you look at it. And it could result in definitely a bottom finish of the division. I gotta have a little optimism in there, so I will definitely say that there's absolutely a world, if not a better chance in the world, that they are the bottom finishers this year. Let's just make the Reds lose, though. Okay. I agree with the Pirates, though. The whole dark horse Pirates. I'm saying that. God, unless Skeens gets figured out, I mean,
I think if Skeens gets hurt, that's about the only way I can picture him not being ridiculously dominant. There's some pitchers you just can't beat. Mm-hmm. You got to just hope that you just got to hope they beat themselves. I mean, that's how I mean.
I legitimately think that the Pirates could rank anywhere in 1 through 5 in that division. I think that
I'm with you.
I think that they could really break out and take the top spot in the Central, but also. Yeah, if Skeens gets hurt, then they're gonna be 5th. They're gonna be at the very bottom. There's no doubt.
So yeah, it's as always, the NL Central is gonna be very interesting, though, which way you look at it. I think you're gonna see a lot of shuffling throughout the year until somebody becomes the clear cut.
All right, my Seattle Mariners. They broke my heart last season, but I think I don't think I've been more excited for a Mariners roster than I have been for this season. This roster feels just stacked to me. This feels like the most complete roster that I've seen since I've been following the Mariners very tightly, which honestly hasn't been that long. I started actually really following baseball in the last 3-4 years. But like before then, I was, a Mariners fan. I was, following the team because my dad's a Mariners fan. Now I'm a Mariners fan. Wasn't really super big into baseball until the last couple seasons. But out of those last couple seasons, this is the one that I am the most excited for. And I know that's going to lead me to heartbreak, but I'm just, yeah. So in the offseason, the big pickup that Mariners got was Brendan Donovan from the Cardinals. He is going from the projected lineup that I believe MLB put out. He's projected to be the start. He's projected to be one in our lineup. I'm super excited to see him. Idea. I'm super excited to see him on this roster.
I'm gonna miss him.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm super excited for him to be on the roster. I think he really completes it and fills the hole that that Polanco left by going to the Mets. And then we got obviously Julio Rodriguez. I think Julio is a very kind of a wild card as far as a player. Because for the last couple seasons, he's just been really not good in the first half of the season, but then really breaking out to all-star levels in the in the second half of the season. So I really hope that he can get over that for this season and be really consistent throughout the whole thing. The rest of the roster, obviously Cal Raleigh. What can I say that hasn't been said about Cal Raleigh? He's Cal Raleigh. He's the big dumper. Signing Josh Naylor was awesome. I love that man.
Seeing that 5-year, $92.5 million contract right here, right now.
Yeah, 5 years, $92.5 million.
Good.
Yeah, he's stated that he absolutely loves it in Seattle, and we love him in Seattle. So I'm so excited to see what else he can do for this team. He's going to be a staple for this team for the next 5 years. The one question mark that I've got for this roster right now is the DH role, and that it's because we don't really have Dominic Canzone's a great hitter. He batted .300 last year, which I think a lot of people kind of gloss over. Is Dominic Canzone had a .300 season, which is pretty awesome. But he's not really well known as a super big power hitter, but he can get on base. So I'm okay with it, but
yeah. I was gonna say I know the designated hitter spot. Everybody likes to go for power, but that's not how you have to play.
Yeah, it doesn't have to. But
I mean, Edgar Martinez is the greatest DH in your franchise's history, and he really wasn't a huge power guy.
That's right.
So it can work.
Yeah,
get on base. Move the line.
And another player I'm really excited for this season, Colt Emerson, the rookie. He is one of if not the. He's within the top 5, I think. I don't know where his ranking is in as far as minor leagues go, but he is a top 5 player in the farm system, and he is expected to make his start this season on the Mariners roster at either the second base or third base role. Probably not third base because I think Brendan Donovan's going to be sitting at third, but he's going to get some opportunities to be on the field, and I'm really excited to see what he can bring. But yeah, and then lastly with this Mariners roster, the starting pitching has not changed. It is the same 5 as before. We've got Brian Wu, we've got Logan Gilbert, we've got George Kirby. Who else am I missing? Luis Castillo, and Brian Miller. This pitching core I think is the best in the MLB. As far as a full 5-player core, except for maybe the Dodgers, but I just hate.
You can't compare yourself to the Dodgers. You'll drive
I just hate the
insane.
Dodgers. Yeah, that's exactly right. I'll say they're the best in the AL. I think this is the best starting pitching core in the AL. And I think that's been that way for the last 2 seasons as well. This pitching lineup is so stacked, and I love it. There's not much to really say about the pitching that hasn't been said. Like I mentioned with Cal Raleigh, there's just so much that has been said about all these players, and this is just such a complete roster. Which is why I think the Mariners are going to be a high 90s win team this season.
I think good. I was just looking into that.
I think they're going to be the top team in the AL, and I think they're going to be a high 90s win roster.
I mean, as a fan of the team from the National League, count your blessings that you're an AL fan, because that field is way more wide open. I mean, as far as the playoff teams from last year go, I think the Blue Jays are going to take a step back. You know, I can definitively say they got a little bit worse in the offseason. I think they're still going to be a really good team, and I think they'll still contend for their division, but you know, for a team that just was 2 outs from winning the World Series, they really did not have the offseason I think their fans were hoping to have.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I mean, the Guardians are a wild card. You know, they're always good.
They're good on paper.
Pretty much always
good. Always good on paper.
Yeah, they're good on paper. But you know, it took a mad dash to win the division last year, and they ultimately fizzled out in the wild card series. And the team they played, the Tigers, you know, who knows where they're going to be? I mean, they're the kind of team that the state of their franchise right now, that if they're, you know, even maybe sitting around 500 in July, Tariq Skubal could be headed to another team. I mean, because I believe they have about a snowball's chance in hell of re-signing him, you know. So they just give a bunch of money to, why the heck am I blanking on his name now? Framber Valdez. But you know, they went to arbitration with Tariq Skubal at one of the biggest disparities in history. So, you know, they made the playoffs last year. Again, another team that was a few outs away from getting to the ALCS for the first time in a while. And, you know, they're a team that I could also picture getting marginally worse this year. And the AL East is going to be a dogfight. I think the Yankees, Red Sox, and Blue Jays will all compete for it again. I think the Orioles will be significantly better, and I think they could knock one of those teams out and get into the postseason over them.
I can agree there.
But, I mean, the AL is just so much more wide open, whereas the NL, you know, you hope the Dodgers are going to revert to their 22 and 23 ways of choking early on, but I mean, on paper, they're about 8, 9, 10 wins better than any other NL team.
Yeah.
And that is going to be a lot to contend with. And you know, there's a reason they play the games, but it is bleak, man. It is really bleak, and it is really hard to not picture the Dodgers not only winning the pennant again, but, you know, getting that three-peat right before we go into a couple seasons without baseball because of it.
Yeah. Speaking of the AL being wide open, I have some predictions for this AL West that I don't think I've already told Drewski about this, but Solis, I think the Athletics are a playoff team.
Really?
I think the A's
decide that.
I think the A's are a playoff team.
Touch 500.
They did not. How close were they to 500? Actually, I don't
76 to 86, 10 games back.
They're 10 games back. I think they will squeak in at the very last wildcard spot, and it's entirely based on the young talent that they have on this roster. They have Nick Kurtz. If I'm understanding correctly, he was the AL Rookie of the Year. Nick Kurtz is insane. I think this roster is going to turn some heads this season. There's a lot of really good young talent on this team that I think will net some pretty surprising wins here. And I think that they're going to come in at the last wildcard spot, and I think that they're going to be just like a single win over the Astros in this division. I think it's going to be a really tight race in the AL West for that second place spot, and I think that the A's are going to take it over the Astros just barely. I think the Rangers are going to be mid once again. They're probably going to go 81-81 once again. And the Angels are going to be ass. Good. The Angels are just going to be ass. They're just ass.
I really feel for Angels fans, man. There's really God himself might not be able to save that franchise at this point.
Yeah.
And you know, one of my absolute best friends is a diehard Angels fan, and it's just you can't help but feel bad. I mean, that franchise is in some dire straits, and It is not. It's not even, like where you have a lot of young talent in their farm system and a front office that you trust to go out and acquire the right players. It's just bleak.
It's bad,
But yeah, I
man.
know Solis. I am 100% with you on the A's. They're going to be a sneaky good team. That lineup is really good. I mean, you already said Nick Kurtz. Of course, they still have Brent Rooker, who's a two-time All-Star now. I think
Exactly.
Lawrence Butler is primed for a real breakout season. He uh, he had a pretty solid year last year. At least defensively, he was a two-WAR guy despite being a below-average hitter. But I mean, if he can match the offensive prowess he showed in 2024 with the defensive skills he's always had, I mean, he is a 4 to 5 WAR guy in their outfield. And the one question mark I have is the pitching. Sutter Health Park is kind of a bandbox. It is a very, very, very hitter-friendly park, mostly because it's actually a minor league park. But yeah, I am very much in on the
Moneyball.
Athletics this season.
Yeah.
I I am high on the A's. I think they'll be good.
I
Yeah.
love that. I mean, I'm down for Moneyball too, Electric Boogaloo. I like underdog stories, and they're also AL, so it's one of those things where I could care less unless we meet him in the World Series. Speaking of World Series, I will always root for the Texas Rangers and Astros to never see the playoffs again. Now
Based.
the Rangers are just because I know we beat them in the 2011 World Series, but Ron Washington was kind of a douche the whole time about it, and there was some audio that came out from the locker room, which again they shouldn't be doing that. What's said in the locker room should be kept in the locker room. But he said some pretty nasty things about the Cardinals to kind of rile up their troops, and the problem is that it saw the light of day, and so fuck Ron Washington, fuck the Rangers. I will never let them live that down. And obviously, I will never root for the Astros again. A team that I would have.
Editing Argo again. Discord fucked up and cut the call's audio for like 30 seconds here, so apologies for the sudden cut.
But yeah, so with the team that, the Astros that could not survive in the NL Central, which I don't blame them. It was a clustered mess there. Getting moved to AL West and having that, they brought themselves up off the dirt and brushed it off and became such a successful franchise to get mired in such bullshit cheating that you just didn't need to do. Uh, I just will never be able to root for a franchise like that. It's hard enough as a
Yeah.
Cardinals fan. We got nailed for the one staffer uh, that used his old password, I forget, to get into looking in stuff.
Wait, what now? I don't think I
Oh,
heard
that
about
was
this.
years ago.
Oh, that was years
Years
ago.
ago, one of our office guys used to be on one of the other teams, and he used his old credentials to go steal some insider information. And
Oh,
the Cardinals paid for it. We lost some draft picks and some other shit. It was not great.
that's not good.
So they paid for it. But again, and that on me, like I am upset that the Cardinals let a guy in the organization that would do that kind of stuff. Um, but it wasn't banging on trash cans and trying to really do that kind of crazy shit. Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, that
Ugh,
situation was. I do remember the whole Cardinal situation, and yeah,
it's not great.
but the Astros situation ran a lot deeper and was a lot worse. So
The investigation, from my knowledge, with the Cardinals side was it was one guy doing his own thing. If had ran deeper, had they been able to follow that back to upper management and ownership, then we would have a problem with me being a Cardinals fan, because at that point
yeah,
the cheating would have ran too deep. But
yep,
this is one guy with old credentials on another team stealing some information that I think arguably didn't even fucking help anything. That's why it being more of a solo gig thing, it's not as big of a deal. And we got punished harsh for it and wrote it out, so I'm fine with that. The Astros doing what they did, and they won the World Series. Like, rough. So I didn't critique your teams. I wanna love the Mets, man, and I hope that last year wasn't the year that you were trying to capture lightning in the bottle for the World Series. I really hope that wasn't what it was last year, and it just kind of fell apart. It does look
yeah.
like things are going well. I'm gonna say the Mets are in contention. Obviously, I don't know if they're a clear cut World Series team. but it's more likely than not they're gonna be repeating like an 83-79. I could see them easily pushing a 90 win season.
Yeah.
And then God forbid baseball gods do what they do and everybody underperforms and ends up being a fucking sub 500 team. That's baseball for you. So I'm gonna say, do you think you're gonna beat the Phillies? You think you're taking out the Phillies?
I think at least as far as winning the division, as far as divisional standings go, I think the Mets will be ahead of the Phillies. But anything could happen in the postseason.
True. That's the beauty.
I mean, the one thing I take solace in is that the Mets have all pretty much beaten the Phillies nonstop at home over the last couple of years. So as long as we're the higher seed, if we have to face them in the playoffs, I'll feel pretty good.
That's pretty good. That's good. And my whole thing with the Mariners is I would say between you two, I'm giving the Mariners the better shot at seeing the World Series this year. I don't expect that. If we see the World Series, if the Cardinals made the World Series, what the fuck? That's something. We have a bunch of rookies come up that happen to be rookies of all time. You know what I mean? Like it would be one of those.
Yeah.
It would be the craziest, unprobable thing. So I'm already writing myself out of this situation. It's just I would love to see them hit 500, and anything above that would be great. If anything performs less, it's again we're rebuilding.
Yeah.
Mariners, keep doing what they're freaking doing. Don't fumble the bag this time.
Hey,
you had them, and you just let it go.
That is kind of just the Mariners, but I will say, we are the team of destiny. All right, and here's why. This season, or for the Seahawks, it was the Seahawks' 50th year, and we won the Super Bowl off of it. You want to know what season this is for the Mariners?
50.
It is also their 50th season.
The final season before we go on a break for baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, it is writing a story. I can see it.
So I'm just saying, man, the Seattle Mariners, if they're Seattle's team in football was able to do it on their 50th year, there's no reason the Mariners can't do it on their 50th year.
It would be poetic.
It would be very poetic.
So, I mean, I guess I'll wish you the best because I don't see the Cardinals making it to the World Series. So I'll be able to cheer with you the whole way.
All right. Question apart from the Dodgers, because just from, perspectives of how strong you think each team is, apart from the Dodgers, which team is winning the World Series?
Like the team that wins it all.
If you're not counting the Dodgers, because if we were to all say,
the Dodgers just disappear from the face of the earth.
Yes, which we all wish would happen.
Hey, people regress. People have bad seasons. The Dodgers could become.
I am gonna take my chance, be biased, and say I think the Mets have what it takes. I still deep down think if they get to a 7-game series against the Dodgers, I think they could beat them. I think if there are any teams in the NL that could beat the Dodgers, I think the Mets would be one of those teams. But that being said, I mean, I think this lineup is the best it's been in several years. I mean, our pitching staff is going to be much improved. You're going to have full seasons of McLean. You're adding Freddie Peralta to that. You're going to have a hopefully healthy Kodai Senga and Sean Manaea. So like I said, I'm very excited, and Dodgers or not, I think the Mets have a shot. So I think if the Dodgers were to cease to exist, though, I would pick the Mets. Call me biased, call whatever.
I see it. I see the bias. I mean, y'all, what was it? Up until September, we're absolutely favorites to go all the way, and they had a historic falling apart. So you have to take that also as experience for the team. I mean, y'all fumbled the bag as hard as you could. Guess what? Don't do it this season. And you know how not to do it this season. So that could be really powerful. Really powerful. The way I look at it, I do think it's going to be an NL team. It very well could be the Mariners though this year or somebody in the AL East. But because I mean, God, who knows? The Red Sox, Yankees, and Jays. Like you said, I don't think it's gonna be the Jays. It could be the Yankees or Red Sox that come out ahead on everybody. The Brewers, I didn't realize had the best record last year.
Oh yeah, they did
by one game, 97-65, but they're not repeating that. So, and I don't think they're going to win a World Series out of it either. So, I can't in my blood ever say the Cubs are going to win it again. So, I think if I have to look at it this way out of everybody in here, I mean, it's tough. If it's not the Dodgers, I don't think it's going to be anybody else in the West. If I can't give it to the Cubs, then I mean the Braves. You said the Braves could have a sneaky season. I'm just gonna be real. If it's not the Dodgers, I'm probably giving it to whoever wins the AL West or AL East.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's gonna be
that's fair.
Yankees or Red Sox or Mariners is what I'm gonna give it.
I would say pretty much the exact same thing for Solis. Mariners, Red Sox, or Yankees. One of those three are probably would probably win. If the Dodgers were not we're not in the discussion. I would, because I don't want to be biased. I'm not going to say the Mariners, even though I want to say the Mariners. Actually, I will say the Mariners. I have changed my mind. I think the Mariners would be my favorite for winning the World Series. But if it wasn't the Mariners or the Dodgers, I'd say Red Sox or Yankees, and I'm going to say Red Sox because fuck the Yankees.
The Red Sox beat us, and I can't like them for it, but I will take the Red Sox W over the Yankees any day.
Yeah.
So yeah. Crazy that baseball is starting tomorrow.
I am so excited.
I'm ready to watch. I work from home Fridays, and I know what I'm going to be doing if it's a slow day tomorrow.
There
you don't need 20 different subscription services to watch the games.
Not when you have the glorious or whatever the hell is taken over for it now that it's offline.
This part will be removed from the podcast when I edit it.
I was just taking a shot at the NFL.
I mean, totally 100% legal methods of watching Major League Baseball.
Yes.
I'm just taking a shot at the NFL because it was ridiculous. All the different subscription services you had to have. It was like if you wanted to watch every single possible game in the NFL last year, it was over $400 in total subscription services you needed.
Insane.
Because they have deals split up between Amazon and Twitch and all the other services.
Paramount, because you have Paramount for CBS games, Fox. I mean, it's insane.
Yep. So it was like individual services. If you wanted to watch every single game last year, it was over $400. No,
crazy,
dude. How is the NFL surviving? How? Football fans shouldn't have to deal with that.
No.
Be a baseball fan.
But we do.
That's the learning lesson. Be a baseball fan, everybody. Be a baseball fan. It's easier, and you get 162 games.
Let's fucking go Mets.
162 games allows you to miss a few. You know. That's my favorite. I became a baseball fan also because I used to work 2 jobs over 75 hours a week. I slept in 3 to 4 hour intervals in between my jobs. And there's enough baseball games to keep me entertained and kept up with, and I can miss half of them and still see half a season worth, 80 games worth, whereas football, I was missing everything because
I was lucky to be working in a news station while football season was going through. It's one of the benefits of working in news is because we just have all the TVs up of like all of our stations and all the competitor stations. So usually one of them had a game up on Thursday, or if I was working on weekends on Sunday, they would have games up.
That's awesome.
Nice.
So that was where I lucked out.
That's where you watched Caleb Williams.
That was where I watched Caleb Williams. That was insane.
I know I was blowing your phone up because I was like, I literally messaged you. I'm like, yeah, it's Jover. It's like halfway through the game. The Bears aren't doing shit. This game's over. And then the collapse of the Packers. And I'm like, unless.
Yeah. I do have a question for you guys because I am doing something this season that I have not done before. Have you guys ever done fantasy baseball?
No.
Yes.
I need some like rundown on how fantasy baseball works.
Yeah,
I'm assuming it's like fantasy
hit
hockey.
me up. It is.
Are
Yeah, it
we-
is. You hit me. I'll hit you up a little bit later, and I will give you the rundown on fantasy baseball.
Gotcha. Because just like real quick, what is like if you're drafting for fantasy baseball, what do you even focus on?
I mean, everybody has their own strategy. I mean, I typically, focus on position players for the first few rounds, because it's kind of like, how like in the NFL where, you know, skill position players go well before the first quarterback does. You in a lot of leagues you don't even see the first quarterback off the board till fifth, sixth, seventh round.
Right.
Where in baseball it's kind of the same way as far as position players and pitching, because you're gonna get like the value between the top pitcher and like the 20th best pitcher, that's a lot more comparable than the top hitter and the 20th best hitter. So,
Right. I get you.
Okay, interesting.
That's
So my
interesting.
thought is, I like what you're going with this, Argo. So I had to ask, is this episode coming out Saturday?
Either Saturday or Sunday, one of the two.
So what this weekend?
Yes, this
This
weekend.
is premiering on a YouTube channel that assumably hasn't been made yet.
Yes, yes, I will create a YouTube channel and it will go on a YouTube channel, and I will try to get it on
Okay.
Spotify as well.
And Spotify as well. So if you're listening to this,
Yes, this
'Cause
will
I
have no visuals, so it's going to be all audio.
Right. if you're listening to this right now, audience, let us know what your predictions are for the World Series coming up this year, and you can also rep your team for sure.
Absolutely.
But also, arguably, I don't know if you'd want to try and get this set up, because I assume fantasy baseball doesn't kick in until after spring training.
Or we can draft is. I mean, my draft is in March, so
we can have that going. Is there a way we would be able to open up the I guess there's a draft, but I was gonna say, is there a way to do a big old fantasy football or fantasy baseball for the podcast?
Oh my god!
So that viewers could join.
Don't
Don't at all hold us to this, but it's a thought, is what I'm saying.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll think about it. We'll think.
If
About
not this year, next year.
Yeah, we can think about it. We can think about it.
And obviously, I hate this. We'll probably do a March Madness bracket.
Oh, for sure.
Yes,
Yes,
that
that will
100%.
So maybe not fantasy baseball.
That is a lot. That is a lot less maintenance involved in that as opposed to
Yes.
starting a fantasy baseball league. So
Right.
Fair enough. So at the very least, you'll be able to join the Untitled Sports Furry Baseball Podcast
Working title.
March
Working title.
Madness bracket. Yeah.
I think
but
that's a good
I
place
think
to
this
end this
is
off. Yeah.
the ending of the first episode. Tell us
Yeah.
what you liked. Give us suggestions in the comments.
Yeah.
Again, rep the fuck out of your teams.
Tell us
because
that
you should, because that's what sports fans do.
Tell us that we know ball or that we don't know ball, and explain why.
We did it, chat.
absolutely.
we did it.
We did it. Yay.
And go Cardinals.
Go
Mets.
Mariners. And I hope you all enjoyed listening to the Untitled Furry Baseball Podcast.